Exhale. And shake it off. We about our business. We about climbing. We about exploring new opportunities, being adventurous, finding our true self. Let me tell you something. So many things have been coming out with so many people because I think people just they click into a reading, listen to what's said, and then they click out. They don't really get into their Zen mode and peace mode where they could actually truly decipher the message. They just hear what's quick and that's it. I don't want that. I want you all to dive into yourselves. Am I asking too much? To just get more in tune with who you are. A lot of times you don't even know who you are. You're just going through the modes for survival purposes. We don't want that. We want you to be able to figure things out. I know I do things unconventional way and stuff. I don't always like to be put in a box and just do. I know things that I picked up along the way, and I've realized how important it is to really hear yourself think, to really hear what you're thinking about and dive into it. Have you ever just sat down and pondered things and asked yourself questions? Example, a lot of times people are so in love that they don't see the signs that your partner is not reflecting the same thing, reciprocating the same love. But you're so into your head rather than tuning in to yourself. You don't see a lot of the signs that you should see, male or female. I want you to start reflecting inside of self. Sometimes people block things because it's too painful to think of something else. I want you to dive into who you are and know, because when you know that, people that are not meant to be in your life, all of a sudden they start disappearing. No matter what the reason is, they start being released from your life because the vibe is not one that you want to receive. And you start realizing that when you get in tune with yourself, there's things that you're going to feel, different vibes, and you're going to realize and ask yourself questions. Why am I with that person? And that's when you start coming out of that denial phase into reality because you're listening to who you are. Spirits, talk to us on behalf of our wonderful Sagittarius family. Let them figure things out. Let them take the clues that are needed and apply it to their life so they can either revive things or push them away, get rid of them, move on, move forward, let it go, let it go. I'm telling you, it's like there's a song for everything that happens in somebody's life, and I just want you to think about everything. It's a new day, it's a new year, summer's coming. How do you feel in the summer other than hot and sticky at times? I love the beauty of the sun shining more and more each day, of looking forward to possibilities and opportunities that you can take with you the rest of the year, meeting new people, exiting from old relationships, old friends, old things, so that you can move forward, making sure that it resonates with your life. When you start listening to yourself, you know what I think about, if you start listening to yourself, imagine yourself running in the sand on the beach, or just walking and playing in the sand with your feet. Just you, I'm talking about just you. And you listen to the water and the splashes and the waves. That's being at peace to me. And thinking about things, thinking about what you want. Who makes you feel good when they're around and who makes you feel miserable? Who makes you second guess yourself and who makes you more confident? Who gives you support and who could care less? That's what it's about, Sag. Release the messages for our Sagittarius family, help them to gain clarity and understanding as they pursue their goals and dreams. And think. They think about everything. Ooh, we got the Eight of Swords. We have the Four of Cups. Ooh, we have the Ten of Cups. We have the Hermit. we have the Emperor. Woo! I'm seeing this right off the bat. Sagittarius. Okay. Literally, you're all tied up in knots. Okay? You feel tied up. You feel restricted. You feel limited. You feel like you want to take steps, but something is holding on to you and won't let you go. You everything is just running through your mind. You're just trying to figure out what's the next step to take. But right now, you are so confused, frustrated, fed up with certain things. And you're just looking for clarity. You don't want to feel like other people in control of your life and you don't have the reins. And you know why that is. That's because you know what's going on, but you're letting other people tell you what's going on. You have to open your mouth and speak, because before there were things you may not have seen, but now you're starting to see a whole lot more and feeling a certain way. I think it's because you're starting to pay attention. Even though people may not follow it all the way, you're starting to pay attention to things that make sense. Before it was all cloudy, but now you're looking at things from a different lens. And you still have your ways about you, Sagittarius, where when disappointment falls upon you, it's like you just sulk. It's like your belly just sinks. And needless to say, because you've had quite a few disappointments, you know where the belly is right now. And you know what I love about this card? To me, this card represents your disappointments, your frustrations, you being fed up with things that have not fallen in line with what you want. And you're just thinking things through. I'm like, I'm so tired. I keep trying this. You cry. I keep trying this and this doesn't work out. I try this, it doesn't work out. I try that, it doesn't work out. Let me tell you something, and this is what you have to realize. I used to be in the mortgage industry, okay? And I remember when you go to the banks to get somebody qualified, because mind you, if you're not getting some type of draw, you have to work on commission until you could close a deal. So sometimes you're working on a deal and you're hopeful that it's going to close in 30 days so you can make your money before the new month, before a new mortgage is due, before your car note is due. And you know what? It's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating when you have issues with your deal. Maybe people don't have all the paperwork you need, and you're destined to work this deal because that's your paycheck. But there are a lot of disappointments that come. I didn't give up doing mortgages, but sometimes you need other things to supplement, and you're disappointed that things didn't pan out, but you don't give up, because when the reward comes in, as it shall, eventually, you're waiting for that approval. My favorite words used to be clear to close. That's what the banks used to say. Is the deal ready? Submit this to me, a new bank statement of this, clear to close. It lets you know that your hard work has paid off. And you get to kill one bird with two stones. One, you get paid for your service. Two, you provide a home for someone that was in need, or you help an investor close a deal. It's a beautiful thing. I know I'm a little off track here, but I'm going to tell you, when disappointment comes to you, you have to take the time to remember things when it did work. I had a deal that we were at the closing table, and I told the borrower, I said, make sure you don't buy anything, you don't do anything. And she said, I understand. No new car, no new house, no nothing. She said, I understand. So the day of closing now, she's moving up from Miami to Orlando. And she decides, since this store in Miami wasn't in Orlando, she would go. Let me tell you before I say anything. So anyway, that day closing is supposed to be 11:30 a.m. Everybody's there at the closing table. They're waiting for the money to be wired over from the bank. The bank decides to run her credit one last time before they close the deal. And it comes up over $3,000 worth of furniture. Furniture is now on her credit. What are you saying to me? What are you saying to me? We can't close because her debt to income ratio is over the mark that we approved her for. When I tell you somebody's belly just dropping, talk about disappointment where you're feeling the tears welling up in your eyes, but you're not going to blink. She had tears in her eyes. I had tears in mine. Okay, I worked so hard to get that deal done. And I spoke to, it's not like it was a surprise to her. Please don't buy anything within this time frame. When the bank said that, I'm holding back the tears, mind you. And I look at her and I said, didn't we discuss no purchases until we close? She said, I thought everything was done because we had the approval. That's why I tell y'all, inhale, exhale, because I have to do it right now. Excuse me. Okay. Anyway, she had to go and rent an apartment because she lost out on the house, because she went and purchased items to put in the house, had the truck outside of the house because she figured she was only coming to get her keys and pay everything off. So what I'm saying to you is, you could work diligently through something and it not pan out. It doesn't mean you failed. It means you had a disappointment which you have to keep moving forward from. You're not a failure. You have failed at certain things, but you're not a failure. You're only a failure if you just stop and give up. But if you're still moving, even if you take a seat for a minute to catch your breath, you still have that intentional action that the next deal is going to work. And that's the mindset that you have to continue with in anything worth having in this life. You can't allow the issues that surface and circle around you at that time to take precedent over everything else. But there was a lesson to be learned on it, right? And that's what you have to do. You have to take that lesson plan, take those steps out, tweak them as needed, and continue moving forward. So the disappointment came there because of something that, I could not have changed. There are things that you can't change. You just have to keep working with that strong commitment, that perseverance, that attitude of overcoming, and look up. Hold your head up. You see in this picture, he had, what is this? The Four of Cups, right? So he had 3 disappointments, okay? So imagine you have 3 disappointments in your life where things just did not work out the way you wanted it to, okay? Even though that's the case, you still have to get up and say nothing is going to hold me back or hold me down. Go in the bathroom and cry if you have to, and then shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Easier said than done, you say? I've been there. I've done that. And not just on one occasion. You have to be in it to win it. Not everything you try is going to work in your favor. It may work for somebody else and not work for you. Does it mean you're a failure? No. Maybe you weren't right at that. Maybe this was not your opportunity right now. Maybe something bigger and better is coming along. You still have to think of the possibilities. This person Had 3 disappointments, right? But there's one more. See, like it's a cloud and a hand coming out from the sky and coming down here, and it's right there. That opportunity will be looking you in dead eye. What they say, dead ass in the face. Prevail, I can't think of his name now, from Tyler Perry's Sisters. I love him. But anyway, him and his wife, beautiful couple. Devon Ellis, I think his name is. But anyway, I digress. It's like you are blocking your blessings by not even looking for them. Seek and ye shall find. Look for more opportunities. Look for more options. Because I'm telling you, as soon as you pick your head up and you look, you're going to see that there's another opportunity for you. Don't let the 3 that didn't work out deter you from seeing the vision of the 4th one. It's about overcoming. I cannot say this enough. Have you ever had disappointment in your life before? Okay. Are you still standing? Are you still here? Are you still able to talk? Are you still able to see? What are you doing if you think that this is the right one to take you down? No. Staying positive is so easy. It's harder to just wallow in self-pity, because all you just do is dwell on what should have been and what wasn't. Think about, let the joy take over. You know what? Okay, it didn't work out. Maybe that was not for me. But there's so much more to investigate and research and take an adventure with. I'm going to find what I'm seeking because I believe in myself. I'm strong. I am wise. I am an overcomer. Bad stuff happens. Shiggity happen. But you know what? I'm not going to be stuck in this same spot. I'm not going to focus on what wasn't. I'm going to focus on what I'm going to make happen. Because I am faithful, I am dedicated, I am persistent, I persevere through storms. You say every positive affirmation about you, about your skills, about your capabilities, and you see yourself overcoming these humps. And then sometimes you find out certain things. Dang, what if I would have went forward with that? Oh, the whole thing blew up. It didn't even work out for nobody else. And you thought you was a failure? You better stop looking, listen, and stop playing. Goodness. Disappointments are supposed to strengthen you and make you see the possibilities. Hold your head up high, because you know what? Look, what's this card? We're talking about a 10 of Cups. That's celebration. Celebration with friends and family, joy. Something great has happened for you. And you know what happens? You forget about all the times you was disappointed because you're celebrating right now. Life is beautiful, and you have to find the different exits and the clues. It's a lot of work to stay on top of your game, but you're worth it. Don't you believe that you're worth it? Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. I don't know how many times I got to say that. I'll say it every day to everybody because it's true. It's true. I tell you, look at those basketball players, football players, golf, tennis. Let me tell you something. My son plays tennis. I was playing tennis with him. Oh, he is like good. And then the coach, he was trying to say, oh, I couldn't keep up, and he had an exercise class playing tennis for people, and he would tease us. He said, oh, you're out of breath. Oh, you this, oh, you that. And he make you just want to hit that ball. He helped me. He made me want to hit that ball. He just hurt me. You know what I mean? When you can find that core of self and start listening to who you are, you wouldn't believe how I felt that strength inside of me start elevating and moving up. Even though I couldn't breathe, just to hear him laugh at me. And he, oh, what a fun coach, but he got on my nerves. He used to bring out the best in everybody, even those that are overweight, those that just don't have the tenacity to keep going. He made you want to do better. He made you want to do better. And that's how you have to look at yourself and listen to your intuition. Your intuition will inspire you to keep going. You'll start seeing yourself arriving at your destination, and you just get excited. That coach helped me to get in shape. He inspired me. He pushed me to levels I didn't even know, especially people that get pissed off easily when they can't do something and want to show you, I'm going to do it. I can do it. My son used to be like that, my oldest, and, teaching him how to tie his shoelace and things. I can do it, mommy. Stop. I'm going to do it myself. He would sit down there, it seemed like to me, for hours. And listen, buddy, we got to go. Put it on in the car, or tie it in the car. He was determined, and he did it. He said, you said to do it like this, then do it like this and tie it like two bunny ears, right, mommy? I said, yes. He said, well, something is wrong with the other bunny ear, but this bunny ear is good. And we used to do that. And I used to watch him and watch him. I was like, you don't even want to go out no more by the time he finished. But the fact was, he did it. He found and listened to his intuition, and his spirit and his ego and his mindset was that of achieving success. This little innocent kid wanted to see himself succeed at something without my help, without his father's help. It was like, I do it. I remember this for the rest of my life. I will do it myself, mommy. Just wait. I'm going to do it. And then I say, you know what? I'm going to leave you here and with your uncle, your grandfather, your dad, everybody, and I'm going out. No. You said, if at first you don't succeed, try again, right? So I'm going to the store with you, mommy. Please wait. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then I hear him say, I did it, mommy, all by myself. My baby shoes were tied with the bunny ears by himself. When your kids do something by themselves, it lets you know that either they're growing and doing things right, and or you a good influence. It's just a good feeling, period. So when you're working towards something, be more like a child. That, well, not all kids are like that, because my other child will get frustrated and not be bothered. I'm not, forget it. So you do it. The first one was like, I'll do it myself. And so I was like, come on, tie it. So I'm just saying, life has so many different levels, so many obstacles. And in order for you to find your zone, your place, it's not easy. But you're going to end up celebrating in the long run if you stay on that journey, if you stay on that path. I know it's frustrating. And then you know what you do? You go into that hermit mode where you talk to yourself. You get in tune with yourself. You're listening to yourself. What happens when you do that? Think about it. Think about something that you cut the noise from. You couldn't get it just right, and then you did. And then you did. I tried to put up a desk myself, a table desk, and I was like, oh, my son usually does it, but he doesn't live with me anymore. So my daughter has done a couple things, but she's always out there working. He started teaching himself so many things, my son, my daughter, all of them. And I said, if my kids could do stuff like this, I can do it too. I know. So I said, you know what, I'm putting this together, all these pieces, all these screws. But I end up showing myself that I was bigger than the job, instead of the job swarming and taking me over. And I said, I'm going to do this. Didn't get things right all the time. Had to take it out, refix it, do this, do that. But you know what? Just like anything in life that's worth having is worth learning to complete your projects. Feel your way through. Listen to your intuition. Try, retry, try again. I finally, and it was put together strong and sturdy, and it's still up strong till today because I didn't give up. No matter how frustrated, and sometimes you get so frustrated, you got to say, you know what? I'm going to do this tomorrow. I can't do this today right now. I'm not giving up. I'm just taking a break. This way, you get to take a break. You get to breathe, get your composure back, refocus on what you're working on, go back to the instructions, and try it again. And try it again. My husband used to, until he got sick of hearing me, put things together and not follow the instructions. And then you got a whole bag of screws. I'm like, where do those go? He get frustrated and get bad. If you're going to do something, do it right until you get it right. That's how life is. You can't give up and you can't envy other people when they keep going. So you need to find your in-depth strength, your inner power, and release it and keep using it until you get to where you want to be. You feel your way through by manifesting on it and seeing yourself completing that project so that you could come back with a more positive attitude, more positive vibes, because you're determined to achieve your goals. Look at those iron boots. I don't know if it's iron, but it's steel boots. Steel boots. Iron, he couldn't get up. Steel boots. Look at that concrete, stable foundation. These are the things that make you who you are, because you know what? In the end, when you realize and you start listening to yourself and following your intuition, you start walking in to your wealth, your inheritance, your growth, your power, your authority, your guidance. You are a leader. Leaders don't give up like that. They work towards what it is they're seeking. And then, most important, people, Sagittarius, you like to just keep going and going, but you got to take a time out. You got to seek that balance in your life. Make sure that it's an even keel. I know something is going to get a little bit more or a little extra than something else, but there's got to be some type of balance. You can't just work all the time and don't love, don't share, don't give, don't go out and be your best self. Just like anything else, everything in moderation. When you want to give, make sure you give. Helping other people, that's something you like to do as well. Be your best. You're working towards a new career. Work towards your new career. But you know what? Don't give up on who you are at all. At all. Work on being your better, best self. And stay grounded. Don't let people make you frustrated to the point where you can't move. Overwhelming feelings, vibes with tension. No, we leave that outside and we focus on what it is we're working to accomplish, working to achieve. People will push your buttons along the way, but you know what, Sag? You got it because you're experiencing abundance. When people are experiencing abundance, they don't take on every battle because they good. They are on solid ground. They have a strong foundation and they eventually look up. That's what you're doing, looking up and seeing that there are other opportunities. You're celebrating. You're taking time out for yourself. And you're realizing that you're stronger, more powerful than you even believed you were. You're optimistic about the future. You're willing to help others, willing to teach as needed. You might be a nurse in a hospital and they put you to be in charge of teaching an educational class for CEUs. You could be a great mechanic that's not certified yet, but you're learning all the facets of mechanics. Whatever you attempt to do, be sure that's what you want to do. so you could be committed to it and be dedicated to it, so you could rise accordingly and align yourself with where you are, where you plan to be, and how you plan to get there. Living life takes work, because you don't want to merely exist, do you? Just somebody that's there, that with no purpose, no existence really, just holding on somehow. No, you want more than that, Sagittarius. The vibe shows that you want more than that. You're always looking for better opportunities. You want to make sure that your family is secure and stable in life. And nothing is wrong with that. But you have to execute what it is you're seeking and be intentional with the movement, so you could continue to overcome obstacles that are thrown your path to tear you down, hold you back, and make you doubt. You've been through too much stuff for you to fall in line with that nonsense. Please, please, please. Let me tell you before I go, you have to stay on your journey. People are going to envy you no matter what you do in this life. And I'll bring up this story because it was told to me, and I was just, one of my friends, her mother is a registered nurse, was a registered nurse in the hospital. And, she's from Jamaica, everything, beautiful woman, and very dedicated and committed to her craft. And she was telling me that another registered nurse in the hospital, and we were all discussing this, she said, you would not believe that a nurse had parked where near the window so she could always check her car. And she had a Mercedes. And she would always park from by the window where they're on their floor, where she could look out if she needed to, just to check on her car. Well, a couple of the nurses saw her get out of her car. They had never seen her get out of her car before. And the supervisor said, oh, what y'all looking at? And she said, oh, well, so-and-so is coming out of her car. And she looked and she said, ooh, must be nice. She has a Mercedes. She said, maybe I'm giving her too many hours and she's getting too much overtime. I'm going to have to check on that. How wicked is that? That because this woman, who's a registered nurse, works her butt off, bought herself a Mercedes, which she's entitled to purchase any darn vehicle she wants, her supervisor, not just the co-workers, her supervisor is suggesting that she's going to stop her from getting hours so she can't enjoy her vehicle and be strapped for cash. How nasty are people? That's how you want to spend your time, trying to hurt someone else because they have a car? Think about that. You all are nurses and you are supervisors. So because you didn't buy a Mercedes and you're mad that one of the nurses was able to purchase one that's underneath you, you will now make it more tough for her and not give her the hours that she's been getting, so she can't afford to pay for her vehicle. You don't even know she paid it out in full, but you want to limit her possibilities, her growth. Why? Explain that to me. What is wrong with people? Your life is so, ooh, let me get in my zen. I was getting ready to get upset again. Whoo, girl, you need to calm down, relax. Let me relax a little. Whoo, excuse me. I just feel that anything you want in life and you work diligently for it and you continue on that path for it, why do I need to be jealous of you for what you have when the same opportunities have come to me? Sometimes you could say, well, I don't have the opportunity. We all have the opportunity. It's how we could structure it to work for us. It may be a longer journey, and we might have to take little steps. Okay? You have to be able to stand strong in your truth and not envy anybody else's. So when I say to you, you have this power, this authority, you felt restricted and limited for growth. And then you started looking at the opportunities that were out there and keep going through them until you were able to find one that worked for you. And then you celebrated because you were happy to be able to get to this point in your life. And you start realizing that being more in tune with yourself opens more options, more opportunities for you. Nobody had to tell you that. You started realizing how you yourself could make positive change in your life so that you can elevate. So maybe you went to training and somebody told you. Maybe you talked to yourself and figured that in order for this to happen, I got to do this. What could I do that's going to help me to get to point B? I'm standing in point A. How do I get to point B? I start listening to myself. I start trying to figure out what it is I really want, trying to understand who I am. You have to sometimes, not sometimes, you should all the time pat your dang self on the back. Let me not limit your growth. Pat yourself on the back after every achievement. I'm not talking about how those other Lakers like Nick Young and all of them did before they start celebrating because they won one game. No, you're happy because you won the game. And you're going to keep forging forward. Let's say it's 10 games and this is the first one. Of course you're elated. You're happy. But don't be partying like there's no tomorrow. You could do that when you win the last one and you get to the next level. But you still are celebrating. You're arriving in your glory, in your joy, in your happiness. Everything takes work. Unless you just have a silver spoon and somebody's giving you everything you want. But in reality, yes, maybe that happens with the top 1%. Maybe there's inheritances, buy more property, land, wherever you can, so you always have something. Growth is growth. Water that seed every day so things will work in your favor. But do know you're on stable and solid foundation. That's not an issue. Make sure that you balance your life and make sure you listen to yourself. But don't get off the train tracks when you're riding the train. You wait till you reach at your depot, that subway station. Don't jump off midway when you're still on the tracks rolling. Even if the train had to stop for a minute and it's not your stop, don't get off. Stay on there till you arrive to where you want to be. So let us see. What is your number for today? Just to see which direction you're headed. Spirits, talk to us with the right number for our Sagittarius family. 1212. Okay. Within you are shadows of dark and beams of light. The divine is reminding you to embrace the duality that is in you as an individual, that have that individual spark. The spark is being ignited and is ready to illuminate the path ahead. I fully embrace who I am and allow change where is needed. I trust the duality within me. I fully embrace who I am. Didn't I just say that? Did I just say that? Hello? Embracing who you are? Being able to explain yourself in writing or verbally? I fully embrace, and that's what you need to do. And then I trust the duality within me and allow change where it is needed. You don't want to stay stuck, change accordingly. You don't want to be grandpa or grandma sitting on that green plaid couch with a brown rug and wood paneling all around. You want to be able to upgrade and update. Like my niece, one of my mother changed her furniture and got new furniture. And she was into this French provincial stuff. And then my niece took her old set, which was similar, and reupholstered the whole thing and made it new. Even if you don't throw out the whole thing, you upgrade it to fit where you are in life right now. Right where you are, you elevate yourself to the next level. You have the power to do that. You don't have to stay in the old. Upgrade to advance and elevate to the new and still hold the value of your old. Garnet Queen Tarot here, where we're saying be inspired to rise. Be inspired to rise, Sagittarius. Hold on and grow. Don't miss the boat. Don't miss the elevator. Okay? Stay on course. Stay on your train. Don't get off at anybody else's stop but your own, because you still have a ways to go. So stay on board. Okay? Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, visitors, for stopping by. You are appreciated. You all matter. We matter. And I love the conversations we have and the messages we share. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Garnet Queen Tarot, where we are inspired to rise. Take care. Talk soon.